Welcome to I Care, I Volunteer, a special series focusing on volunteerism in Peel Region. I'm your host, Adrienne Beaudry, and over the course of the next today's program, we'll be speaking with representatives from Volunteer MBC, which is the local volunteer center serving Peel Region. Joining me today and joining me now is Corrine Strong, Executive Director of Volunteer MBC, and Sharon Clark-Kufis, the Manager of Marketing, Communications and Membership Services. Thanks so much for joining us today, ladies.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. So let's get started by just, why are we here today? What do you want to tell us about Volunteer MBC?
So Volunteer MBC actually started 7 years ago, and it was a result of a report that was commissioned to identify whether there was really a need for a volunteer center in the region of Peel. And so we've been in operation for that many years, and now we're at the point where we offer a full range of services, but our main focus is to promote and support volunteerism in the region of Peel. And the way we do that is we're really the connection that volunteers need to connect to over 200 community service organizations that are our members. Mm-hmm.
Great. And I should ask Sharon, as marketing communications, I know we get this a lot. What does MBC stand for?
It's Volunteer Mississauga, Brampton-Caledon. So yes, so we represent the entire region of Peel. That's our catchment area. Mm-hmm. So anyone who is located in the community, we can definitely help to serve.
Wonderful. So who can volunteer?
Anybody can volunteer, absolutely. Young and old, we have different programs for the different target audiences. We engage numerous youth on an annual basis. In fact, year-round, on a year-round basis, we actually have about 31,000 referrals right now. So youth is a very important component. We also serve a lot of newcomers who are looking for the job experience to be able to list that on their resumes. We deal a lot with seniors who have maybe recently retired, are looking to get involved in the community and gain health benefits in the process.
Wonderful. And so what's the process if somebody wants to volunteer?
Yeah, so the first step is really to just visit our website. We have an online volunteer referral system. It's available 24/7. Mm-hmm. People can go online, search for different opportunities based on their areas of interest. And as Corrine mentioned, we have close to 200 community service organizations that are registered with us as members that will post their needs regularly with us. So that's kind of the first step, is to go there. You can create an online profile. Mm-hmm. It's a secure profile where you can save all of your areas of interest and be notified of different opportunities that come up. You can have them sent to you by email, or you can log in and see a list of different opportunities that are suitable. We also have 3 locations. So we're in Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon. Mm-hmm. And we're available for people to come in and have appointments with our referral team. And we can help to go through some of the areas of interest that they have, the passions they have, and try to match them appropriately. And we also have our email service, so they can email us and ask for details that way, and we'd be more than happy to serve in any way that we can.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And so what if somebody comes to you and they have specific skills or interests, or they'd like to volunteer with their family, or even I know some of the trends these days, people are looking to improve their work skills or qualifications there, so they're leveraging volunteer experiences. So how are you going to help people looking for those types of experiences?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so there's numerous ways, but a very important one right now is obviously youth unemployment specifically, or even post-secondary students trying to gain that competitive advantage, and volunteering can definitely help them to expand their networks, to really link with the community, and to build their resumes, and the volunteers are recognized for their efforts, and for newcomers it's the Canadian experience that they need, and for seniors I think a really important component is the health. Mm-hmm. They want to remain active in the community, avoiding social isolation, if they lose their partner. So it's actually one of our recent surveys identified that after surveying the volunteers, close to 30% identified that they gained their health, mental health and well-being improved as a result of volunteering.
Wow.
And close to 20% identified that their physical health improved. So by staying active and really getting involved in the community.
That's fantastic. That's really great. So tell us maybe so for the person who's sitting at home right now watching us, and maybe they've never volunteered before in their life, how is Volunteer MBC going to help them connect?
Yeah, I think the first thing is we're a one-stop shop. So instead of having to
we're like a shopping mall.
Exactly. Yeah. You just kind of come on in and we can help you browse.
And there is the food court.
Yes.
And you're an excellent baker. Yes.
Yes, exactly. I think that's really the first step, is just to give us a call or connect with us, and to be able to let us know what your needs are. We do have a form that can be filled out, a volunteer opportunity request form, and it gives us a little bit more details about what you're looking for, the passions that you have, and then also in terms of your commitment, your availability, and that's what our referral team does. We can, help to really connect you in that way. But for those who are more tech savvy, that are feeling comfortable just going online, I think that's really a good way to go. It also asks some specific questions about availability, so the results, the search results will come back exactly based on what they're looking for. So I think, basically we're here to help in any way that we can. And as I said, instead of having to call each of the agencies one by one, just come to the local volunteer center and we'll be here to help.
That's great. And you mentioned the online database. So do I need, if I'm interested and I want to volunteer, do I need to create a profile? How do I know what new opportunities are coming in and where I can connect with them?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, I think the profile is the best way, because then it enables you to save all of the areas of interest that you have and be notified as new postings get approved into the system. But you can also just go and search, and then you can apply right through the database. So the way that it works is when you find an opportunity that you like, you would just create an email that goes directly to the organization, and then the agency would get in touch with you to be able to talk about the volunteer intake process. So you potentially would go in for an interview, you would go get some training, there might be some screening processes involved in terms of reference checks, and basically they're there to kind of get you on board to help them out.
That's wonderful.
And I think the good thing is we've got so many, a really large variety of community service organizations, whether you want to get involved in the sports activities, social service, mental health, there's so many opportunities, where you can mentor children. There really is an opportunity for everybody, and that matches the interests of just about anybody that would look to volunteer.
That's wonderful. And I think, when you talk about sports opportunities, I know we just had the Pan Am Games come through. So there's likely thousands of volunteers who enjoyed the experience of being involved with Pan Am. And
there's some significant events coming up next year with great opportunities to volunteer. The Canada Senior 55 Plus Games is being held in Brampton. And the youth games, the Ontario Youth Games, are being held in Mississauga. So for both events, they will each need approximately 1,000 volunteers. So great opportunity to get engaged, offer your skill set. There are so many roles that they will actually need volunteers for. So that's fantastic. But aside from that, if you're looking for a more longer term commitment as opposed to event volunteering, they can definitely go and to the website, as Sharon mentioned, and look for that ideal opportunity for them.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So really a one-stop shop. So I'm sitting on the couch right now, and I know it's time that I need to be doing something, whether it's sports, whether it's faith, whether it's arts. I want to get involved. What's the website? How do I find you on social media?
Yeah, so all of that's going to be shown on the end of the show, but it's volunteernbc.org. That's the first place to start, or you can contact us at our center at 905-238-2622.
And we love for people to drop into the center. If you're not comfortable with looking online, absolutely come and visit us. Come and visit the Mississauga office, either one.
So thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back with more I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. Welcome back to I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. Joining us now is Shminda Pereira, Manager of Community Engagement, and Shilpa Kapadia, who is Administrative Assistant with Volunteer MBC. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here.
We're so pleased to have you. So just previously, Corinne and Sharon were here telling us a little bit about Volunteer MBC. So perhaps you could tell us about the actual system and how it works. So volunteering is a two-way street, that organizations are looking for specific things from volunteers, and as a volunteer, we're looking for certain things from an organization. So when I, as a prospective volunteer, walk through the doors at Volunteer MBC, tell me what you're looking for.
Well, we look for 4 key pieces of information. One is what are their objectives. Next is what are they really good at, and the third is what do they want to learn out of the whole volunteer experience, and also in general what are their interests. So once we have a conversation with them and then figure out these 4 key sets of information, and then what we do is we go about searching for an opportunity that matches those requirements of the individual client. Now, a big thing at Volunteer MBC is we always say we will try as much as possible to make a meaningful connection, because what we want to ultimately happen is the volunteer, after they give back to the community, build the capacity of the organization, we want them to take back something with them as well. The experience, fulfilling their objectives of volunteering, going back with new skills, and also demonstrating, proving themselves, demonstrating the skills they have, so that it helps them, when they move out of that organization, out of their volunteer experience, and when they want to move on to the next stage.
Wonderful. Yeah. So, and then maybe Shilpa, can you tell us more specifically about the process? So if somebody walks in, or if they're making a profile on through the online volunteer referral service.
We offer our referral service through all our 3 locations, Mississauga, Brampton and Caledon, and we go about it in 2 ways. There is a self-directed search and an assisted search. In a self-directed search, an individual will visit our website, create a profile and search for opportunities. Now, these can be filtered by areas of interest, expertise, or maybe just organizations that they like to get connected to, or keyword searches like youth volunteer opportunities. And an assisted search is when we do the search for you. Based on the information that is provided, we recommend volunteer opportunities. And this can be done in 3 ways: by email, through telephone, or an in-person consultation. And again, as he said, we strive to make it's a meaningful experience for them, and that we hope that they get what they are really looking for when they volunteer.
Okay, and so if I wanted to come in for that in-person consultation, is it best to make an appointment? Can I go into, are all 3 locations open Monday to Friday, or maybe could you tell me a little bit about that?
No, at Brampton you can walk in at any time between our working hours of 9 to 5. Mississauga is by appointment, and as well as Caledon. Caledon's by appointment as well. And our numbers are on the website. You could either email us or call in.
Okay, and what if I need some help? So maybe I have, we have a client or someone who's interested in volunteering, has a disability or has challenges reading and writing, or is this the first time they've ever volunteered and they just want somebody to come with them and sit with them while they're doing that in-person consultation?
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes even if they cannot come in, and but they have access to a computer, we can actually walk them through the process over the telephone. And if they come in, we have a lot of clients that come in with their support workers, and we actually we take a lot of time and walk them through the process.
That's wonderful, and that's really important and good to know as well. And so I know you sort of mentioned a little bit about meaningful opportunities and meaningful engagement. What does that mean specifically? Like, can you give us some examples?
Yeah, so we want the volunteer opportunity that we recommend to a client to be something that they want to do, that they like to do, and something that they might want to gain new skills out of. So we do an assessment. It's more of a conversation where we try to figure out what these skill sets are or what these requirements are. For example, if a youth comes in, sometimes they come in and say, I'm ready to do anything. But when you say I'm ready to do anything, you're opening up yourself to over 250 odd volunteer opportunities on our website and on our database. So we try to narrow it down for this individual, and we try to find out what they really like to do. So I took the example of a youth, and youth in particular, sometimes they feel that what they like to do, like video gaming, sports, being part of entertainment related events, at times they don't make the connection between that and volunteering. If you're giving your time and effort without expecting any compensation back to build the capacity of an organization towards community service, that is volunteering. So if you're a youth who really likes to do video games, to me, what I'm taking out of that is the person to play video games. I'm a gamer myself. You need to be strategic and you need to be creative. So those are transferable skills that could be put into a volunteer position. Sometimes new immigrants, when they come in, they ask us, okay, so this is my area, this is my professional background, and I want to be involved in this background. And we have over 180 organizations, which means, like I said before, it's about, last time I checked, it was about over 250 volunteer opportunities. So with your professional background, if we can make an ideal match, a direct match between the set of skills you have and the position requirements of the organization, then we will make that match, and that we call it a meaningful connection. Sometimes regulated fields, we may not find a volunteer opportunity. You might not find a volunteer opportunity such as to be an internal auditor or an accountant or software network development professional in the IT field. Yeah. And but there are skill sets that you use in your profession which could be transferred to another platform. Over and over again, I hear sometimes newcomers come and say, I need to start from scratch. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from a new platform. You can bring your skill sets. It's just that it may not be by position title what you are practicing in your country of origin. For example, myself, I am a training and development professional in my professional background. But right now, my position title is not a trainer. But being the manager of the community engagement at Volunteer MBC, I am training in certain programs. So I am practicing those skills. And a trainer would always assess the audience even while the training is on. So because of that, now I bring those skills to the referral service where I'm able to assess the skills of an individual who wants to volunteer. So that's what we mean by meaningful. We try to make a direct match if possible, but if not, we try to engage the transferable skills of the volunteer in an organization. Because ultimately you're there to, if you're a new immigrant, you're there to prove yourself so that you can have someone vouching for your skills. If you're a youth, you're there to explore your career paths. You're there to, do what you like to do in a community setup. And if you're an older adult, you're going to fill the void from working to not working, and volunteering is a really good opportunity to do that.
That's wonderful. So it sounds like there's a little bit of homework that maybe potential volunteers need to do to sit down and think about what it is they'd like to do, the skills they have, how they'd like to bring those to organizations. Because really what we do when we volunteer is we make the community a better place. We make ourselves better people in the same time, which is great. And so you have those conversations and help people connect.
It's a great way to gain experience and explore, your areas of interest.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. If you know what you want to do, then our conversation is easy.
Right.
But if you are still exploring what can I do, simply call us, approach us, and we'll have that conversation with you and try to help you find what is it that you'd like to do.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So thank you for joining us, and we'll be back with more on I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. Welcome back to I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. I'm joined again by Shaminda Pereira, Manager of Community Engagement with Volunteer MBC. And so Shaminda, we've been talking a little bit about what Volunteer MBC does in the community. We've talked about the processes that we use to engage people. So tell us, how does Volunteer MBC walk the talk? How are volunteers engaged within the organization?
Certainly. So all nonprofit and charitable organizations, they exist because there's a need in the community for community service. And in providing the community service, they engage the volunteers. And so they have a staff pool that keeps the organization running on a day-to-day basis. But it is these volunteers who actually build the capacity of the organization. They are the group that adds value to the whole community service aspect of it. So, Nader over here is a training and development professional, but he helps Volunteer MBC in certain, events and as an volunteer event assistant. So, how we walk the talk is we engage the volunteers too. And we engage volunteers in different aspects of our organization's operations. We have Step Up Youth Volunteer Ambassadors who's helping us spearhead the youth volunteering component. And they, they take our referral service to their peers in their schools. We have the outreach ambassadors who go out, talk about the work that Volunteer MBC does, and direct the traffic towards our referral service so that their peers, their networks can gain from the referral service. Then, in offering the referral service, we have in-house office volunteers called the Volunteer Engagement Assistants. So we train them on how to assess a client's skills, how to assess a client's profile. But it is them who's actually looking for those volunteer opportunities for those clients. And also, like NADA, we have special events that we hold from time to time during the year. And we are a staff pool of 8, but we need more than 8 to make that event successful.
Absolutely.
And that's when NADA and people, volunteers like NADA, come into assistance, and that's how they add value to our organization.
Wonderful. So Nader, thank you so much for coming
Thank
in
you.
today.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to have you here. And
Thank
I know
you.
we met last April at the Volunteer MBC recognition event.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your experience and your story.
Yeah. First, I was interested to be more engaged with the community and support the community. So I asked my friends. They referred me to Volunteer MBC.
Good friends.
Yeah.
Keep them.
Yeah. That's why I
Right
browsed the site. I found it very easy and very interesting. So I created my own profile. I uploaded my resume. I started to seek matches regarding my qualifications, regarding my interest. That's why I started volunteering with Volunteer MBC. It was an awesome experience.
Excellent.
Thank
So
you.
what made it an awesome experience?
Yeah, I capitalized my skills and competencies while developing new skills, meeting new people, having fun also.
Thank you. I'm glad you had fun.
Thank you, thank you.
Wonderful. So, and have you thanked your friends properly for sending you our way?
Yeah.
We need to thank them as well, so thank you to your friends.
Thank you very much.
And for other people who are sitting at home, again, our friends watching the show today, you're now their friend, so what are you going to tell them?
Yeah, just create your own profile. Try to seek good opportunities that match your skills. Also, if you are interested to develop new skill, just search for an opportunity that can capitalize these skills and to develop this skill.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you can find a lot of opportunities, whatever your background, whatever your studies, whatever you are looking for, whatever your age even. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. Was it hard to create a profile?
No, very
No?
easy, very
And you
simple.
don't get spammed now?
No, it's very easy. Even I get emails from them usually
Yeah.
regarding future opportunities that I can attend also. However, I usually browse the site by myself to look for the opportunities that matches and be more compatible with my needs.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, thank you.
And Shaminda, so tell us a little bit, maybe some experiences or people that you've met that have been engaged through Volunteer MBC. Tell us some of their stories, if you could.
Yes, so I said before that volunteers do build the capacity of the organization. So let me share an example. Change the World Ontario Youth Volunteer Challenge is a provincial campaign that takes place across Ontario, and it's funded by the government of Ontario and administered by the Ontario Volunteer Centres Network. So the OVCN, they're connected to all the volunteer centres across Ontario, 26 to be specific. And through these volunteer centres, like us, they deliver the Change the World campaign in their local communities. Now, Change the World is about engaging high school students. It's about creating opportunities for students to volunteer in or encouraging the students to volunteer with the signature events of organizations already taking place during the month of April and May. Because it's all events-based and it's projects-based, the project management flavor definitely needs to be in there in whatever the effort that we put into it. So all this time, Volunteer MBC, we've done a great job in figuring out the process with the project plans and the task plans. But in 2012, we had a volunteer come in, and he is from the project management background. He came in and he did a lot to put all of us on the proper track to organize ourselves, to make sure that every decision made, every change being done with delivering the Change the World campaign is logged. And the ultimate result was he gave us a 1,000-page binder with the project management, the whole project management approach to it. Now, how this add capacity into our organization is, now everything that we do, we make that binder as our Bible in project management. But also in the provincial level, to the Ontario Volunteer Centres Network, most of the components that he has introduced used in the overall project management, management and planning. So sometimes we feel that we need to look for an organization that is hiring an individual, hiring a volunteer with our skill sets. That's not the case. What is it that you have to offer? Sometimes it's about, yes, finding that opportunity, but also approaching the organization and saying, this is what I can do, this is what I'm good at.
Yep.
How can the organization benefit from it, and to give those skills to the organization.
That's great. And I know, Nader, when we were chatting earlier, you were mentioning that you volunteer for several different organizations.
Yeah, actually.
So how do you find balancing that, and why do you?
It's not that easy. However, my passion regarding volunteering and regarding supporting and being engaged with the community is supporting me. Because actually it's not that easy. Because giving time for different roles in different organizations, having fun, also having my work and having my family, so it's not that easy. However, it pays back. You are giving back to the community and you are supporting other people, developing other people.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of enjoyment. That's why I encourage any person, whatever his age, to volunteer.
That's wonderful.
To utilize and capitalize his skills and competences and to give back to the community.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. For example, currently, you mentioned several organizations, for example, Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation, also Canadian Diabetic Association, Heart and Stroke Foundation, also PMI, Lakeshore Chapter. So I'm having an active role with those organizations currently.
And I appreciate and thank both of you for sharing your stories, for coming in and giving us your time today. So thank you again for joining us on this episode of I Volunteer, I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. If you are looking for more information about our organization, please visit us online at www.volunteermbc, which is for Mississauga, Brampton-Caledon.org, or give us a call and we will help you out. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you on our next episode on Rogers TV.